Indiana at Oregon. Indiana wins this one 30-20. Let's talk Indiana first. Signetti, his approach in these games, finding players. I mean, there was a lot made about like 0 5 stars on the roster. Oregon had all the 5 stars. Yada yada yada. So much talked about Signetti, his approach, how he finds players, and in this game, it really shined. I mean, you had the 5 star quarterback and Dante Moore versus the really nothing high school quarterback who eventually became a 3 star. His only offer was Yale for the longest time, and Fernando Mendoza. He goes to Cal, and then Kirksonetti gets his hands on him and just molds him into a top NFL draft pick at this point, and he's done a fantastic job. And Indiana's defense was incredible in this game, sacking Dante Moore, getting tackles for loss. I mean, this was an incredible game. One of the biggest upsets that you're going to see in a good amount of time. It shouldn't have been as big of an upset, but based on brand and everything else, it was huge, and it did shock a lot of people. Your thoughts, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, Indiana, the panic level is a 0. I know I'm going outside the scale, but what else can you say? Indiana just did what they've never done before. They are ranked 3rd in the AP poll, which they have never been ranked 3rd, which, by the way, is too low. It's too low.
Yep,
It should be
we'll
1
get
or
to it.
2.
Don't worry, we'll get to it.
But it's amazing what Signetti has done. It is the greatest year and a half coaching job I've ever seen, and it's not even close.
Is this the best run program in all of college football? I think it's them and Ohio State.
Yeah, I think it's between them and Ohio State currently. And I think if Indiana wins the national championship, like you can't say they're not. But the longevity is a thing. I will just say that. And like what Ryan Day is doing, and I know people will call me a homer, but what Ryan Day is doing year in and year out is kind of insane as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people say, well, they haven't beaten Michigan. Okay, he's like 76-10. He's won 2 Big Ten titles and a national championship. Like, he's pretty good. But I do think, like, right now, what Signetti's doing in the year and a half that he's had, I mean, it's 1A and 1B, I would say.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say like in the past and the history and all that stuff, because definitely Ohio State has, a lot more there. I'm saying like right now in this moment, culture, coaching staff, the will to win, everything you have to put together to be a fantastic program. We'll see what happens in the offseason. Obviously, with the transfer portal, everything can get crazy nowadays, but if you just looking at the programs right now, these two programs are far and away the 2 best in all of college football, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I mean, you could make a case that Oregon is right up there too, right? Like what Dan Lanning's doing. Not at the same level, but like top 5.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm with you. Panic level super low. Oregon, panic level. I got a 3 panic level for Oregon, because hear me out, all right? They only scored 1 offensive touchdown against Indiana. You lose at home. You lose that home winning streak that was the longest in the nation on Saturday. And, Atticus Sappington misses another field goal.
Yep.
What's going on there? So I'm not going to say it's anything higher than a 3, because I thought you got some really good true freshmen doing a great job in this game. Brandon Finney got the pick 6. Jordan Davison, he had a career day rushing the ball, which was really, really good for him. But I definitely think, you're kind of rethinking the offense a little bit, right? Because you're like, okay, yes, we didn't do super well in the Penn State game, but you kind of could have excused that with some of the conservative play calling. And okay, maybe Penn State, they were really good before they just decided to quit. But then you play this game against Indiana. You were at home. You had 1 touchdown the entire game, with your offense. Obviously, the pick 6, but with your offense. If I'm an Oregon fan, I am a little concerned. Maybe 3 is too high. Maybe 2 is right. But I'm panicking a little bit. I'm not saying no worries right now.
I don't think you're wrong. Like, I think it's between a 2 and a 3, because I don't think it's so panic, like, oh my gosh, the sky is falling. But this was my concern going into the Oregon Indiana game is I didn't think they looked great against Penn State. And they just had like their strength of schedule is actually worse than Indiana's. And that's with Indiana playing, three teams who were supposed to be cupcakes. Like Oregon, like Oklahoma State stinks. They fired their coach. Oregon State stinks. They fired their coach. I think they played Montana State. And like they just didn't play anybody. And so when you're seeing all this offensive explosion, it's like, well, that's what Oregon does, especially to teams that can't do anything. Against two legit defenses now, they have looked very average. So I am very and Brenton, Indiana has a better strength of schedule in most, I think most metrics.
Number one is strength of record.
Yeah, one is strength of record, and Sagarin, they have the 30th best SOS, whereas Oregon has the 33rd. So I mean, it's not much, but it's still a difference. And they've got a tough schedule ahead, like tougher than I think we would have expected. At Rutgers, home against Wisconsin, they should take care of business. But then at Iowa, like that's not going to be easy. USC at home, at Washington, like are we sure that they finish 11-1?
No, you're not sure. And I think that's the most concerning thing right
Yeah.
now. I think you have Washington, you have USC still on that schedule. And I think if you're an Oregon fan, you're saying, okay, we should win those games, but what if we don't? What if we go 9-3? Because that is a possibility right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not picking it to happen, but it's possible. So
Yeah.
again, I'm not saying it's probably more like a 2.5. Like I don't know if a full 3 gives it justice, but I definitely think it's a little bit more than a 2.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
we were
It's not
doing like
nothing.
out of 10, I'd probably have this at like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's yeah.
So all right, let's move on to. Oh, let's see. What are the people saying? Philip says Oregon doesn't play UCLA, so they won't melt down. Okay, good. Research
Oh dear.
department Philip here for us. Thanks for doing that, Philip.
Mm.
John Jacobs wants to make sure we know the defensive line. John Jacobs, appreciate you being here. He says, I have really been with IU's defensive line. Wyatt, Kamara, Daly, Tucker, Lindino, Wheeler has looked really good, man. They've looked fantastic. It's been a fantastic defensive line. We weren't giving them enough credit going into the season. They've looked like the best defensive line in the conference right now.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm saying that with Ohio State, the way they've looked. Like, it's been fantastic. So